Hello again YouTube, Mad Dog here, welcome back to my channel. So tonight's little video is going to be a quick look round this little fella. And this is the Anglo Arms 15.7 inch Bolo Machete. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So the Machete from Anglo Arms comes in this black nylon sheath, nothing flash or fancy. It does have a good size belt loop and it does have rivets to the welt of the sheath, which should aid in the blade not coming through the stitching there over time. It has a snap fastener to retain the scale, the handle. So we'll take the blade out of the sheath and we'll have a quick look around this. So quickly just going over some specs. The blade overall length is 15.7 inches. The actual blade length itself is 8.7 inches, and that is a V grind. It's a V grind down to a secondary bevel. I don't know if you'll pick up just now, but it actually has a secondary bevel. I'm not a big fan of that, but it is very sharp. Out the box it came shaving sharp. The material is a 440 stainless steel, as are the rivets, the 3 rivets there that go through this Indian rosewood handle or scales. Now they advertise this being full tang, as a full tang blade, but hopefully, as you can see, in my opinion, it falls short of that by just the heel of the scales. Not true full tang in my opinion, but close enough. We'll give it that. Nice finish to the blade, nice drop point on the end. Now they advertise this as a machete, the Bolo Machete, but in my opinion, at around 15 inches, nearly 16 inches, makes it more of a large blade than a machete. Each to their own. However, for the price point and the fit and finish of this blade, I think it's outstanding value. We're going to show it a few tasks in a moment outside, see how it performs. The spine thickness of this blade is also advertised as being 2mm, around 5, just let me zoom in there, 5/64ths of an inch. However, I've actually measured this and it comes in at just a hair over 3mm, so it is thicker than what the actual stats claim it to be. It's closer 1/8 of an inch in thickness, so it's quite a substantial thing, although with it being stainless, not too heavy. Just trying to give you all a proper look around this without moving it about and fidgeting too much. Good looking blade, very utilitarian. Like I say, nicely finished. The grind is nice and central to the point, and overall the fit and finish and quality for the price of this blade appears on first impressions to be very good. Personally, I would have liked that full tang to have carried on through the scales right to the end with an eyelet for a lanyard, but that's just my personal preference, my opinion. I think that would have made this absolutely excuse me, an absolutely fantastic buy. So stay with me, we'll go outside now, show it a few tasks, and we'll see how it performs, and then I'll cut to the, I guess, the most important bit, the price point. So stay tuned, stay with me. Okay, let's see if we can do some battening with this bad boy. I've got me a nice seasoned piece of cherry here, so let's give it some. no problem. Okay, let's see if we can't get ourselves a fire going with this bad boy, because it has got a real nice sharp 90-degree spine. So let's get that cracked up with a ferro rod. So I've just got me a bit of fat wood from Sherwood Forest. So let's see what we can do here. Okay. So I'm just going to use the Mad Dog Monster and the spine of the blade for this, because it does throw some good sparks. So yep, I'd say that's another win for the Bolo. Yeah. Okay, so just some basic chopping and carving tasks. So yeah, no problem. So in closing, final thoughts and opinions on this Anglo Arms Bolo machete, or large knife, whatever you want to call it. It is advertised as a machete. These are just my personal opinions. I would have liked to have seen the blade grind finish closer to the scale, so that you can then choke up and do some finer, more intricate work without having to just use it as a slogger, a chopper. Obviously transmitting more power, therefore less intricate sort of tasks, if that makes sense. So for me, the blade closer to the hilt of the scale. Would have liked the scales to have been separate properly, with a true full tang arrangement, so the blade going all the way through two separate scales, not one piece. With an eyelet and for a lanyard, that would have been nice for me. Positives, I love the 90-degree spine, as you probably saw outside. Don't know if this will pick up very well in here. It throws sparks like crazy. It's absolutely fantastic. So makes an ideal ferro rod striker. Razor sharp out the box. Nice weight for chopping, but not too heavy where you can still use it for feather sticking, carving, all the normal bushcraft camping types of tasks. The only thing I've not really mentioned at the moment is price. I paid £11 for this, from I think it was Knife Warehouse UK, and that's obviously to include the sheath, P&P, £9. I do believe that there was a flash sale on not so long ago where they actually reduced them to £7. So go check out Knife Warehouse UK. £11 thereabouts. A good blade for the price, in my opinion. Yeah, well worth the money. I don't know how it will last long term. I'm not going to say this is a review, it's an overview. I don't know whether the blade will roll or dull easily with it being 440 stainless, but I've used it a little bit out in the yard for chopping and used and abused it a little ways, and it's still perfectly fine. No signs of it rolling or chipping. The only thing I didn't like is, having used it somewhat during the making of this video and in between, you can probably see just down there a little bit of daylight has appeared just there. So one side of the scale has spread somewhat, whether that's through my batting in or just general abuse and chopping, but for me that should stay tight, and that's not a good sign for longevity. However, time will tell. So that's my little quick look round the Bolo Machete from Anglo Arms. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you found it useful. A little reference point before you go out and spend your hard-earned on another blade. Another one for the collection anyways. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care out there. Until next time, Mad Dog signing off. Yeah!